Oh, I'm the Vacuuminator.
I'm Buster.
Hi, I'm Boingo.
And wait, what the fuck are you doing here?
Well, you're in my house right now, my digital house.
I am?
Yeah, we're streaming. We're live on Twitch.
Oh shit, this isn't TWIT HQ. This isn't our highly advanced tokusatsu discussing facility. We're on twitch.tv/Boingo Rider. Oh, fuck!
Yeah, you're on my 24-hour birthday stream. We thought it'd be a fun little thing to, like, record a thing, do stuff.
You say we, but I feel like I've been bamboozled. I feel like I've been hoodwinked in some way, because this was not the plan I discussed originally.
What was the plan you discussed originally then?
We were just gonna meet in a normal place and say the normal shit. You and me, Buster.
Do a secret handshake.
Yeah. We were gonna rock out with our cocks out and talk about how much we love non-binary characters in our tokusatsu.
You rock out.
Okay, you can rock out with your lack of cock out.
I just rather put my pants on. Pants are comfortable to wear.
You would not be saying that if you were in the South right now, because I am in the South and I'm wearing pants and I am very sweaty and uncomfortable.
Well, it's cold out here. We're having here in the Midwest. There's so many thunderstorms like every other day.
It's been stormy here too, but without fail, these last couple of weeks, it has gotten really hot the day after it stopped raining every fucking time.
Oh yeah, because the rain fucking kicks up a lot of humidity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
it really hasn't stopped raining here yet. We're constantly in threats. It feels weird. I had to leave my college because of just a minor threat of thunderstorms today. So it's just like, what the hell is going on?
Could have been worse. Could have been a bomb threat.
Yeah.
You're just threatened by a child.
I mean, I am threatened by children often. I am on Twitter.com.
Yeah. It's nice on the coast at Dirk Range in the chat. I bet it fucking is.
Yeah, you guys have to respond to a chat now.
Oh my god. I wonder how... This isn't going up on Modular until tomorrow, so I wonder what this is going to be like for normal listeners.
Probably a little confusing.
Yeah, and very padding because we all are windbags.
Yeah, well,
are you guys gonna have your longest twit?
It might be. I'm still gonna truncate silence on it, but it'll still probably be fairly long because we'll have a third person saying opinions about stuff. But you know what the best opinion about stuff is?
Mine.
No, the opinion that gets you to subscribe to Modular Media. So if you're listening to this, if you're listening to the actual upload of this on YouTube right now, please hit like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell in order to enable notifications so that you know whenever Modular Media puts out some new Modular Media for you to consume. And follow us on Twitter for updates. That's at the Modular Media. You can join our subreddit r/Modular Media, and we have a Tumblr which is just at Modular Media. And hey, since we're doing it here, I will go ahead and throw in a plug for follow Boingo on Twitch, twitch.tv/Boingo Rider. It's a good time. He tries to stream regularly, except for recently because he was burned out, but now he's back at it, baby.
I come back at it after being burned out in a minor hiatus with a 24-hour stream.
Absolute mad lad.
This guy.
Anyway, let's get on to...
For the people who are listening later on, I am currently 8.5 hours into stream. If that gives you any context.
Yeah, for the pre-recorded listeners, for the people who are going to be listening to this like potentially years down the line, how are you feeling right now? How's it going?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling peppy. I'm feeling good.
Okay.
Though I do have an entire night ahead of me, so that's the big thing.
Yeah, you're gonna be playing games at bumfuck o'clock.
Oh yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, let's get on to the news. Our top story this week, another unfortunate one, fellas. We've lost another one. Sadao Iizuka, I believe is how you pronounce that name.
I think Iizuka.
Ah, okay. He was a really early animator and effects technician in tokusatsu and was credited with creating both the original Godzilla atomic roar effect and the original Ultraman Spacium beam effect. And unfortunately this week he passed away at the age of 88. Obviously, a life well and long lived, and we hope he's resting well, and we hope that his family is getting through the grieving process okay. It really sucks that just a trend I've noticed over the last few months. A lot of these early pioneers in both tokusatsu and comics are dropping like flies right now.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, but most of them have lived long and impactful lives. So
Yeah, and we are coming off of a lot of like health scares, essentially. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So it's understandable that a lot of older folks who may have been impacted are like a little weaker and may start more regularly passing away.
Yeah.
It's definitely a thing that is. I don't know what I wanted to say there. I'm just gonna say R.I.P. and move on to something a little more exciting, which is Hiya Toys has announced their next Godzilla figure in their legendary MonsterVerse license line. Exquisite Many Godzilla vs. Kong Heat Ray Godzilla is going to be coming out pretty soon, which looks like a basic repaint of their regular Godzilla with an added effects part for the atomic breath, obviously. And I like the sculpt and the look of this thing from the original version, and this is just like a slight variation. I don't know if it's like really worth it to do a whole different version just for the atomic breath effect, but hey, as we've discussed many times here on This Week in Tokusatsu, Godzilla fans are fucking insane and will buy anything.
I mean, this one's only $50, which is like child's play in the realm of Godzilla merch. So
yeah. Did we ever tell you, Boingo, that like we had a week where there were like 4 different $300 Godzilla statues that got announced?
Damn.
It was
sounds like a bargain.
I'm sure to the people who pay to go to G-Fest every year it is.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, let's go ahead and get on to Ultraman news. We got some release information this week. Ultraman Mebius, and I don't have a link for it here because it came the other day while I was doing stuff, but Ultraman Neos, both of those shows are now available streaming on Tubi TV with English subtitles. These had been previously released on DVD, obviously through Mill Creek Releasing, but now you can stream them at your leisure, and I think Tubi is a mostly free service, right? So you can just pop on and watch these.
Yeah, free of ads.
Yeah, so more Ultraman that's legally available. Hey, Ultraman that I actually know what the fuck it is legally available. That's nice.
Tubi is associated with Shout, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Kinda. Like
it's not owned by Shout, but like they're both owned by the same parent company, kind of thing.
Yeah, like anything that Tubi licenses will usually end up with Shout as well, or vice versa. It's a weird thing. Also, somebody just followed you, Boingo, so thank you to them.
I just didn't want to interrupt the podcast. Thank you, Dirk. Thank you for following me.
Yeah,
following me.
You're a follower. Congratulations.
Follow me. Set me free.
Can I just end it at
maybe we can escape from the city.
But like Mebius is a great show. Like one of the best critically acclaimed Ultraman invented the idea of the Tokusatsu anniversary season, like the modern day equivalent. Like you wouldn't have Gokaiger without Mebius, is what I'm saying. So like check it out sometime.
Yeah,
like,
people told me Mebius is really damn good and I should watch it, so I will one day.
Yeah. Speaking of the Ultraman shows that are really damn good, but we have finished.
Yeah, Tsuburaya announced this week that Ultraman Z is getting an official English dub, which has quite the cast to it, and seems to actually be like an interesting affair worth watching, rather than just a slipshot, here you go job. Like they have been up to this point. Like they're casting actual damn voice actors and not just nobodies or people from the Funimation pool. Like Zeno Robinson is playing Haruki, and that's a man who has had actual real English language voice acting roles and knows how to voice act and isn't just going to be reading lines.
Yeah, and also, like I'd like to elaborate. Now, this is being done by the same company who did the Shin Ultraman dub. Now, the thing about the Shin Ultraman and Ultraman Z dubs, that is a different. They are dubbed by a different production company than the Ultra Galaxy Fight dubs, because the Ultra Galaxy Fight dubs are produced in Japan.
And they're
aren't they for
hit or
like?
miss.
Aren't dubs like that meant for like English-speaking Asian territories,
Yeah,
like
basically.
Hong Kong, Shanghai?
Yeah, but
We've
like they
also
have.
been releasing those over here, and we've been going like this works, but it's not great.
It's
Well, I mean
jank.
that's why there's the English dub of like Wizard and Kabuto that float
Mhm.
around. You see clips of them every once in a while.
Yeah, those are meant for Thailand or Malaysia, I think.
Yeah, but this is like a proper like this is in America and like like
This is
This
made
is
for
Americans.
this is made for the stupid white people who can't read subtitles, basically.
Yeah.
Is there a big demand from Ultraman fans for dubs?
Not
Well,
as far as I know.
Well, there has been like a general tokusatsu thing where it's like, yeah, like it would be nice to get dubs to make these shows more easily accessible for the target demographic, you know, or just like easily accessible in general. Like, just
Man, I have Dreadlock Cipher. Thank you for the tip. Thank you for the dono.
Hey!
Thank you for the $3 dono. Hell yeah!
Very nice, very nice.
What I was saying is like I have weird, distinct memories of like watching Kids WB or Kids CW or whatever, and seeing like dubbed Ultraman and like he's
okay,
riding
that's
a
Ultraman
motorcycle.
Tiga. I did a video on that.
The Tiga dub? Boy, go watch the Tiga dub!
I didn't watch it. I just remember the commercial.
I did a video on the Tiga dub. It's weird.
That's the name of the episode now. Boingo watch the Tiga dub.
Unfortunately, no Ultraman episodes aired this week, so we can't put any Ultraman on the thumbnail.
It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, no, this is really exciting. I also really like that they're sticking to the Japanese pronunciation. They're like, no, we're not calling it Ultraman Z in the dub. It is Ultraman Z. Fucking yes. Good. We're not overly localizing stuff. I love that.
Yeah, it just seems like a straight, like, this is like a modern day dub. You're not changing much, you're just trying to make it like in English, you know?
Mm-hmm. And as long as the voice acting is actually good, unlike Funimation garbage, I am legitimately kind of interested in watching this because everybody knows Zet is already one of my favorite Ultramans. So.
Well, I think it'll be a bit jank because these are live action actors. Like this isn't like Ultra Galaxy Fight where everyone doesn't have a mouth. This is like mouth slipping, linking, lip syncing. So that might be a bit
dubs
jank.
have always been a little weird. I mean, that's why. That's where the joke comes from of move your lips, say a word, like you know.
Oh, Dirk Range in the chat. I will never forgive Ultraman Zet for having a character named Juggler who doesn't fucking juggle.
Was that like the most recent season? What's the most recent season?
The most recent season is Decker. Zet was
2020.
Yeah, so it
okay, so it's a
ago.
really recent. Okay. Mm-hmm. Damn, Ultraman just is on the ball with like American releases. Like they're trying.
Oh yeah,
no, they're not even just trying. They're excelling. Yeah, they're not even just trying. They're excelling. They have like a bunch of the new stuff on YouTube. Like everything is on Tubi or getting a DVD release. Shin Ultraman had a pretty successful theatrical limited run in America, and now it's getting on DVD. It's like, you know, they're banging.
The only thing that's not stopping Ultraman from having like legitimate mainstream success in the US right now is just that it's not as immediately appealing and recognizable as Super Sentai and Kamen Rider are.
Also, I would just say, just as like someone who hasn't really dived super deep into Ultraman and is a Kamen Rider fan, Kamen Rider is 10 times easier to get into. Because like,
because Ultraman does have like an overarching lore, and the fight scenes are a little less. Most of the time, there are exceptions, but a lot of the time the fights aren't as narratively engaging because there's not a lot of dialogue in Ultraman fights.
But it's also just like there's always a season of Kamen Rider going on, and you can always jump in and catch up with every single year.
Yeah,
and Ultraman has seasons, and it kind of comes and goes, which is better for production. But it's just as an easy point of that's the new one. You can watch it. It's a little hard.
Yeah,
Fair,
you get
fair.
Kamen Rider is always there, but Ultraman is like a seasonal thing, and you got to be going up and down the hallway, clanging the pots and pans to get people to pay attention during the season.
You also have to be a little aware of Ultraman in general to be like in the know.
Well, hey, if you are aware of Ultraman, there's going to be figures you can buy. We're getting basic figures for a lot of new generation characters that have been kind of passed over. Mainly Wyndham and Grigio are getting the basic retail style Ultraman figures that have minor articulation. Hey, it's nice that they finally circled back around to those characters, because I don't know if there's like a huge Wyndham fandom, but I know there is a huge sub fandom for Grigio because I'm a part of it. So it's nice to see her getting more merch.
Vac, you haven't even watched Rube.
I like her in all her post Rube appearances. She's a cute, sweet little girl who you want to protect, but she doesn't need you to protect her. Is exactly my kind of character.
Fair.
Thank you for the birthday wish, Zaki.
Hey. All right, well, that kind of wraps up Ultraman news, so I guess we'll move into Geats news. First and foremost, that Geats TV-Kun special that we talked about last week. Boingo, have you heard that Geats is doing a TV-Kun special?
I think I heard something about it.
Yeah, it's essentially there's going to be like a probably like 10-15 minute video that's going to be very goofy, and it's going to feature them wearing silly outfits, and also there's going to be special exclusive power-up forms for Geats and Buffa based on Kamen Rider Ryuki and Kamen Rider Oja.
Oh yeah, no, I saw that stuff. I just the connecting it into my brain things I wasn't aware of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, this week they confirmed if you buy the magazine that's going to be the way to get the DVD TV-Kun special, you will also get an Oja raise buckle, because that'll be how Buffa gets those powers in the special. So if you're one of the people who's obsessively collecting raise buckles, that will be one you'll want to bend over backwards to get, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Louis got sent to the quantum realm. What is going on in this chat right now?
Because on Twitch you can redeem certain things, and I have one where it makes me small. It made me small, but it also the Buster's little stand-in thing wasn't on the screen, so it disappeared.
Ah.
Yeah. So I guess I was sent to the quantum realm. I just slept through it.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Well,
he came back bigger and stronger than ever.
Hey, the April magazine scans for Kamen Rider Geats are out, and there's not a whole lot of new information on these. It's a lot of screen caps from that TV-Kun special, a few new little like bits from it that we haven't seen before, and some cool 2-page spreads of how Boost Mark II and Laser Boost finishers work. But ultimately not a lot of new information in the Geats scans this week. Where the money really is with Kingohger, and we'll get to that in a minute. But first, before the scans came out, Toei released a fucking Kingohger dance video. There is a dance for the show. The Sentai has a dance, and
I think this was for April Fools.
No, this was like a week before April Fools. This came out like right after we did the show last week.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at the release date. It says like basically the date of April Fools in Japan, like March 31st for us.
Yeah, but it was posted in Japan the day before, Buster.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, and this is a legitimate dance that was choreographed by the person who made the Kingohger opening theme. Yeah.
Oh, no, I think it was for it also did the Kira Major ending theme, so that's fun.
Mm-hmm. And it's a fine little dance thing. I honestly found it like more interesting to watch than the actual opening because of how desynced the opening is, the visuals and the beat of the song. But
I have not. That's not what's happening. They're not desynced.
They don't match up very well. It's like they're both cool, but they don't play together super well. I think Buster and I agreed last week.
Yeah, like
it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it was like tonally disconnected. We agreed.
All right, sorry, didn't know that the person who does video editing and makes music knows how to time these things.
It's not like the whatever.
I'm more thrown off by the fact that not that Boingo disagrees, but that he didn't know that was our opinion. You don't listen to the product, brother?
I'm busy. I'm making my own
Apparently.
product.
Okay.
Yeah. We're helping you with that right now.
Speaking of watching the product, hey, April skits for Kingohger.
Yes. And this was, again, where the real money was, because we got our first full official look at Ohkuwagata Ohger. And he's not exactly silver. He's more of a gray boy.
I like it.
I don't.
Dang.
I was interested in it when it looked all shiny and silver, but the fact that it's just like a dull gray, it looks like a prototype suit. And maybe that's what they're going for in story, but that's not very visually appealing to me.
Fair, I guess, but like also just. I still like it. It's still like a nice shade of gray, and they still like put some shine on it, you know?
Yeah. We also get to see the suit for Legend Kingohger, and oh man, it looks way better than the toy.
Yeah, it actually like they put the chest piece fits better and the suit.
It's not like this huge thing that's hanging off of it.
Yeah.
Also, there's another like a little peek at Dawn Brothers versus Zenkaiger, and some other fun bits and bobs here and there. But really, the big thing is getting the full look at Ohkuwagata Ohger. He got his big rollout this week because Toei did like a whole April Fool's Day campaign where it was like it's gonna be one of the side characters, but you have to guess which one. And then they said it was the two Goombases who follow Reckless around. It was both of them. And then a day later they went, Psych, it's actually Reckless. And he's going to get a YouTube special. There's going to be an Ohkuwagata Ohger YouTube special coming on the 23rd that hopefully will be available in the Americas or will get ripped and subbed fairly fast.
Yeah, it seems like they're putting.
I put more money on the second one.
Yeah. It seems like they're gonna put some important story behind this, so we'll see.
Yeah, this might be.
Remind me to watch it. Remind me to watch it for Quest for Kingohger.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's something we should have talked about at the top of the show. Is for people who don't subscribe to Boingo but listen to TWIT. Boingo does weekly Toei reviews. He has Gateway to Geats and Quest for Kingohger, and they're both pretty good. You should be watching them.
Yeah.
YouTube.com/@Boingo Rider.
Quest for Kingohger was named by Vac.
Yeah. It was entirely just a fucking throwaway joke in your comment section, and then you went, oh no, brainworm, I have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm making them as short, so it's not like it's a super ton of work.
Mm-hmm.
It's not taking a super amount of time and effort. It's just like, all right, cool. Thoughts.
Yeah, just dump it out. Just dump it all out. But hey, speaking of dumping it out, remember back when we got how we found out about Ohkuwagata Ohger? It was a blurry shot of a plushie. We now have a nice crystal clear HD shot of that plushie because it's been officially solicited.
Nice.
Now you too can own a genocidal maniac as a plushie.
My favorite. Oh. Hey,
what do you mean? You can already get a plushie of like Megatron.
Oh yeah, you can. Wow. How about
It does have like a Megatron color scheme.
He's totally gunmetal gray. I didn't realize that.
Does that improve your opinion?
Slightly. I still don't love it, but it's slightly better that it's Megatron colors. Oh man.
I got shrunk again, and now I'm getting head pats.
Oh, nice. Moving on with the Kingohger news, it's time for my favorite bi-weekly segment, which is the company that does the volume thing Toei's been using, put out behind-the-scenes shots of this week's mecha fight. And oh man, I love seeing this kind of stuff and seeing how it works out. They're still using the old Hollywood technique of just having two dudes stand next to a fan with a bucket of fake snow. I love it.
Yeah. It looks really cool.
It's cheap. It works.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
yeah.
man.
Honestly, this episode was like, not to get ahead of ourselves, but I really like the aesthetic of the episode. So it's like, yeah, this is cool.
At least it's not asbestos.
What the heck is asbestos?
Asbestos.
Oh my god, there are people who are too young to know about asbestos now?
Asbestos was a material that was flame retardant, right? Almost completely flame proof. And so people were like, yo, let's put this in our houses. Let's put this all these different places, right? Because it was like a useful material. They then realized that it caused cancer.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So
Can we talk about
there
the
was
funny?
a long protracted period of people trying to get asbestos out of their houses or sue companies for making houses with asbestos over the 2000s and the 2010s.
And
That I guess you just missed.
I mean, it started more in like the 90s.
Mm.
Like I would say the 2000s are like at the tail end when everyone was like, all right, cool, we're done. We've got most of it. If we find any more that we've used already, it's an isolated incident. It's still used in chemistry. It's an important substance to know about. It's useful things, right?
Yeah, in the chat points out it's still used in chemistry labs and whatnot, and so like it's not like we just wholesale got rid of it, but it was like a facet of life for a minute there for the average everyday schmuck. And I specifically remember like watching late night TV as a kid, and there always being like lawyer ads for people saying like, "Hey, were you in a construction site with asbestos when you were a young man? Well, you as an old man now can hire us to sue the pants off of the company that had you there if you got cancer or some shit."
This took a weird turn. Can we talk about the funny Yeti merch now?
I can turn back to what I was meaning because in the Wizard of Oz they use asbestos as fake snow.
I see.
That's the joke I was making.
This is a long, protracted tangent. Oh boy, gotta love
Yetis.
it. This is what we wanted Boingo on the show for, and not entirely other reasons. Hey everybody, did you like all that merch that Rita had in this week's Kingohger? You can buy it yourself now from Premium Bandai. Only $10 billion bajillion from Japan.
They can't keep getting away with this.
Oh, yes, they can.
Yeah, they're Bandai them.
They can, and they have for long before we were even aware of it.
Yeah.
Otaku's gonna otaku.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And lastly, this was also part of the scans, but I wanted to just kind of have it as its own separate wrap up to Japanese Toku news. But there's another thing we got to talk about that's Japanese later, which is just the regular TV-Kun scans this week teased that there's going to be big news for all three of the main franchises coming up in May. The Ultra series, there's an unidentified new giant being. We're going to find out what the next show is and all that. Kingohger, there's going to be a new power-up next month. And
already?
Geats, apparently. And Geats, there's going to be super hot news.
I guess that just means final form.
We're in the final third of the show for Geats.
Yeah.
Are we? Shit, I didn't even realize.
Yo, next episode's episode 30.
Yeah.
Oof.
And there's usually only like 40 some odd. 48.
Yeah, between 48 and 52 is the norm. So, oh man.
It's getting there.
That's crazy.
I think ultimately we have one big arc left of Geats, and then that's it. It's like we finish up this one and have the final arc.
Oh man. Well, let's go ahead and move into Power Rangers news, everybody.
Great.
In your annual bit of, oh shit, we uncovered old information finally. Listen Anyway confirmed the identity of the actor who portrayed Tommy's older grandson in Power Rangers Zeo: A Season to Remember. The guy who shows up for like 2 minutes at the end and is revealed to be a Power Ranger because being a Power Ranger runs in the Oliver family, I guess. The actor in question was Pastor Trey Friendland? How are you pronouncing that? What is going on with that name? I don't know. He's a guy, he's still alive. You can all go and hound him to come to Power Morphicon now.
I don't think that doesn't sound like something people should do.
Oh, but they will.
Alright, sleepy noise out of the way. Let's talk about something kind of exciting.
So, we talked about this a little on No Prize last night. Hey, everybody, go listen to No Prize if you don't. The No Prize podcast, the podcast we do live here on Modular Media every Sunday night with me and Boingo talking about comics. But Amy Jo Johnson is doing a new Power Rangers comic. She's writing a comic with her spouse about her version of what the Rangers are up to 30 years later. And Apparently, that is the entire reason she didn't come back for Once and Always, because she did a big interview with Variety when this was announced, and basically talked about, like, she got asked directly, hey, why didn't you come back for Once and Always? Everybody wants to know. And I'm going to read off the exact quote here. There were a bunch of different factors that came into play, one of them being I was working on other projects, and I also have a 13-year-old. I stopped acting and switched my focus to writing and directing almost 10 years ago. I can give you a list of excuses. It just didn't occur to me to join the reunion because I was too focused on this comic and telling this story, which just basically confirms everything I've always suspected of Amy Jo Johnson, which is, yeah, obviously the fandom is scary, but she doesn't want to be involved with Power Rangers unless she can be in control anymore, and that was almost certainly never going to happen until opportunities like this came into play.
Well, first off, you skipped the thing I was actually excited for.
Oh, Jesus.
But also, it's like, yeah, it's just, I don't really, there's nothing really to go off of about this new comic, so I'll just be like, it happens, it'll happen, it happens, then I'll judge it, you know?
It's about as exciting as nothing. But what is exciting is that the thing I skipped. I apologize. It's hard to keep track of a chat and a news doc as it would happen, folks. Power Rangers in Space is getting an official Japanese dub by Toei that's going to be releasing on the Toei Tokusatsu fan club, and Japanese fans seem to be generally excited to finally have a way to check out this show in a way that's easily accessible to them. I don't believe we have a cast for this dub listed anywhere yet, but it would be friggin' amazing if they got all the Mega Rangers.
I mean, they did it for like the Deca Ranger to SPD dub, so.
Mm-hmm.
But like either way, that's exciting, and it's also just everything. Ever since you start Mega Ranger, all the in space / Mega Ranger stuff keeps happening.
Yeah, where's our Lightning Collection Dark Honda?
Charlie Brown?
Yeah, no, this is the season before Charlie Brown.
Right. The sweaters.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Lost Galaxies.
I didn't say I dislike them. It's just
no, I'm talking to Boingo.
I'm not saying I dislike them. I'm just going by a joke. Like, what are they? You know?
I also haven't heard them called the Charlie Brown suits in like 5 years.
You're making Vac feel old, Boingo. How do you feel now?
The last person I actually heard call them the Charlie Brown suits was friggin' Linkara.
And then I guess every podcast we do comes back to Linkara. Anyway.
Oh my god. He's the center of all of this.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, we got more behind-the-scenes photos of Once and Always. First and foremost, another shot of the Rita's Palace set, where we're able to zoom in and see more Lightning Collection figures on her big time travel contraption. So far, I don't believe any of them have been like a leak of like, oh, hey, they haven't made this one yet. I guess since it's in the special, it's going to be coming in the line soon. It's all been figures we already have. I imagine they just pulled them from a Hasbro warehouse or something like that. But the big cool thing this week is we got a little video Simon Bennett posted showing that they didn't just remake one wall. They remade the whole goddamn Ernie's Juice Bar set, which is kind of incredible and makes me think it's going to be a lot bigger part of the special than that trailer made it seem like.
Yeah, I also love Simon Bennett comment on this tweet. Walking into things as usual, relatable.
Yeah, because if you look closely, you can see him like almost trip and fall.
Yeah. Yeah, they're putting out the buku bucks for this.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I really hope we get like a really cool choreographed fight scene that uses the whole Juice Bar set to its advantage, because that was something that never happened in MMPR because they probably didn't want to mess up that set. But I've also seen people theorizing that the fact that they recreated this means we might get like the Rangers interacting with their younger selves or with other characters who the actors couldn't come back via like stock footage or de-aging technology. I don't know if
they don't have the money for that.
Yeah, I don't know if Hasbro has that kind of money, y'all. But I'm not going to completely rule it out because again, they remade this whole damn set, and that's surprising to me.
I mean, hey, it's not that much to build a four walls and paint it.
It's probably just like, hey, we need this set. We're going to go all out because we have the Buku bucks. So it's
Probably. But now on to the craziest left field. Like, we knew this was coming eventually, but I just didn't expect it this week. Finally, Masahiro Inoue's Pink Tokusatsu project has been fully revealed. It's Shintika F8ABA6 Justrizas.
Okay, first off, I never want anyone to complain about Kingdom Hearts names ever again, because what the hell is this name? And second off, cool suit. I like how it has like a bit of Garo in it. Like it's like a bit of Garo mixed with X8. It's like another Garo mixed with like Jinga suit from no, not another Garo, another X8 from Zio mixed with just Jinga from Garo.
Yeah, and it actually looks like a really well-made suit. Like, I was expecting this to be a real shoestring production with not a lot of money behind it and probably a crap suit. And that the beginning of that sentence might still be the case. We don't really know. But the fact that they were able to put together a suit that's this good-looking and this, like, unique and original has me more optimistic about this than I was originally. Also, I dig Inoue's sick civilian gamer bro outfit.
Yeah.
Where's the link to the picture? Because I haven't seen.
Okay, I'm gonna send it.
Fuck, we forgot to give Boingo the link to the news doc before we started.
I posted it in chat.
Oh, looks neat.
Yeah.
Looks like edgy Sakura Blossom.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be more news revealed later this month. I'm looking at the website, and it's like they say like April. Oh no! Okay, I think there's NFTs of this.
Yeah, well,
what you gonna do? Yeah,
it's a Japanese big name actor trying to make money fast.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna be cautious of my support of this.
Definitely. And I mean, like, we still don't even know how this is going to release. It's probably going to end up on Inoue's YouTube channel, but it may also get, like, a TV or a streaming deal. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Want to talk about the corporate news? Not the corporate news. The corporate new releases, like, from Toei?
Yeah, that's all the news is fit to print. So, Buster, please, for the love of God, take us on to the new releases.
Yeah, I'm sorry to end the news on a sour note.
Well, it's your want.
Yeah. Anyway, Kamen Rider Geats, episode 29, Lamination 5, surprise bullfighting game.
Well, Mr. Gateway to Geats, what did you think of this episode?
This episode kind of brings to focus a lot of I wouldn't say disparate themes, but a lot of the themes that Geats has been playing with throughout the whole series, and kind of cementing all of it in one little reveal. Because like the whole show has been talking about desire and fighting for it and respecting other people's desires and all these different little bits and pieces. And in this episode, it's all solidified into one example of Neon, her desires, what she wants, how they're respectful, and how like all these different little things, and how other people can misattribute them and abuse them for their own powers and gain. How the DGP abuses and manipulates other people's desires to get what they want, and ultimately fighting for your desires and fighting for other people's desires is ultimately the way to achieve your goals, with Ace at the end. Like, it is a vertical slice of the thematic elements of Geats in this one episode.
Yeah, it's really interesting how they kind of thematically swerved us, where you thought like Geats himself was the avatar for the ideals of the show, and it turns out, nah, it's Neon. And it's really interesting how they go about showing that in this episode, and like all the little reveals and twists along the way of this episode. I thought this episode was a massive step up from the last couple, because you don't watch the product, so I have to explain for you, Boingo. I didn't think those episodes were bad. I just thought they weren't as good as I had come to expect from Geats. But this one was definitely as good as I have come to expect from Geats, and really kind of blew me away in a couple ways, especially with how the reveal of like fully what Neon is felt so natural, but not like I could have predicted. I didn't fully predict it, but it didn't feel like an ass pull, and it doesn't feel like it's going to ruin rewatches of earlier episodes. Like it is as much as I've said, like, there's things about Gaim that are a good example of how not to do a crazy reveal halfway through your show, this is an example of how to do a crazy reveal halfway through your show.
And it's not only one crazy reveal, because we have gotten, like, 3 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
With, like, Ace and now Neon. I said 3, but, like, no.
Next episode, we're going to find out that Keiwa was a serial killer 10 years ago.
Who knows? I mean, his parents got weird and wrapped up into the whole thing.
Yeah, we still haven't gotten back to that. I want to know if there's anything else to that.
Well, here's the thing. We got revealed of like, oh yeah, Neon was a victim of kidnapping forever ago when she was a kid, and we never heard anything of that until like semi-recently.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Keiwa is the same thing.
Yeah. But Buster, you've been silent as the grave over there. How are you feeling about this episode? I suspect Buster might be AFK.
Oh no. Well, we can keep chatting.
Yeah, because I also want to say, like, I really appreciate how Neon is still an autonomous character in this episode, as much as she is like a example of the themes. It could have been very easy to just have like this whole episode be characters talking about her and things happening to her, but she's still very proactive in this episode itself, right from the beginning, with her immediately guessing that Stalker Boy is Kyun, and that floored me right away, because normally they would play that as one of the big reveals, but having her just be smart enough to go like, oh, you're that guy, that really endeared me to her character right away in this episode. And
immediately calling him on his bullshit, and he's like, look, I don't have an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just fucked in the head.
Yeah, and then like later you see him talking to himself and being like, why am I this way? Why am I such a fucker? Why can't I talk to women? And it's like, same, bro.
Well, I mean, I've been mentioning this as a subtle like side thing that Geats has been doing, but Geats has been critiquing parasocial relationships in a lot of ways. With the sponsors and the DGP and the audience members and all these different kinds of things. And it is just kind of like pointing a light at, I wouldn't say fan culture, otaku culture, and just going like, look, these people are people with Gene, and now this one is just like, and they have emotions. Don't fuck with them. Don't be a dickhead to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And it gets even more interesting when the dad comes back and he has a whole conversation of like, hey, I know you guys have a rocky relationship, but I think you're actually good for my daughter. Please keep supporting her. And like, that's not entirely what I expected from that character. And it actually works in the context of this episode.
There's a lot of interesting with all of this.
I also just really enjoyed this week seeing how incredibly petty Baraba can get.
Oh, God. That's another aspect of the whole fan culture thing. It's just doxing each other over the pettiest shit.
Last episode, Michinaga was literally like, I'm in charge now. We're doing things my way. And she's just like, nah, I'm going to keep sabotaging shit. Fuck you.
Yeah. I mean, hey, Keiwa was about to win that fight if it wasn't for cheating.
Yeah. But the thing is, because he's fought alongside them and because he's still half human, I got the feeling that Michinaga was legit like, well, if they win, they win, and we'll come up with something else. Yeah. But Baraba getting in the way made him get all mad. And it worked out, and the other two guys were certainly there.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Friggin' Notch Sparrow feeling more and more superfluous by the episode.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other things that are cool, other than like the end fight scene, which we can talk about.
I really liked. I guess we can just get straight into what the reveal actually is, because we usually tend to assume that people have watched the episodes on this podcast.
Which I fucking called. I fucking called this a couple weeks ago.
You called her being a wish baby. Did you call that she?
I didn't call the kidnapping. I was like, she's a wish baby.
Yeah. And I remember when we found out through the dad that that's what she was, I was like, oh, hey, Boingo called that. That's really neat. I wonder if that's going to come back and affect the plot. Turns out it's a huge effect on the plot because it's also a whole thing of, like, she's a replacement wish baby. It's not that they couldn't conceive, it's that they had a kid, and the kid got killed during a kidnapping, and then the dad went and made a deal with the devil, basically, is how they framed that scene.
Oh, yeah. And that completely recontextualizes the DGP even more so. Like, we already felt kind of scummy about the DG. It's just like, you're using these guys for entertainment and games. Ew, that's kind of putting them in life and death situations. This is kind of gross.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's
and
just
it makes you more so understand, like, why the mom is the way she is, why she's so, like, borderline abusively overprotective, because she lost a baby child and she doesn't want anything like that to happen again.
Yeah, I mean, good motivation, still wrong, but
oh yeah, cool motives, still abuse.
Also,
yeah, go ahead.
In the reveal, and all the audience members just going like, "Oh, you're not real, lame, fuck you," like all that kind of stuff.
It's like wrestling fans who can't stand that the Undertaker is an actual human person,
or people finding out that, oh, this music artist I like, his dad is like a movie producer. Oh, he's a nepo baby. It's like, I mean, sure, but he still has skill and talent.
Yeah, it's all kinds of interesting commentary on the nature of media and of celebrity, which is cool to see in your children's toy commercial.
Yeah. Along with complex themes of like want and desire and need and necessity and all that kind of stuff. Are you trying to hail Buster?
I'm trying to, like, hold out long enough for Buster to be able to come back, but I'm losing hope rapidly.
I am back. I just don't know what to say. Like, you're basically hitting all the points, and I don't got
say
anything.
that, so at least we know you're here.
We thought you disappeared into the
Advent dimension.
Yeah, the Advent void. That's what it's called. God damn it.
Yeah, I just gotta be a bit more quiet right now. So, like, if I just mute my mic.
I mean, do you have anything at all to add, or is it just like, yeah, good episode, I liked it?
Good episode, I liked it.
Okay.
Fight scene? Because that fight scene went fucking hard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This was like... Because I remember saying last week that, like, I was surprised people were impressed by the action in last week's Geats, because I didn't think it was all that interesting or original. This week's fight scene wipes the floor with last week, and was even kind of staggering that it was in Kamen Rider. It was that damn good.
It felt very John Wick.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't go that far, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's the continuous movement without cuts that Tokusatsu does, but it's also flowing the camera between the fighters and just the way the fight moves through the location and how the people are using the location. That felt very John Wick to me.
And it's also just impressive that most of this episode is shot on a freaking gymnasium set that we've seen in, like, a lot of Rider shows over the last few years.
We've seen it in this show already.
Fresh. Yeah, and they managed to make it feel fresh and original.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's just good fight. I love how everyone's butt sphincter was like, oh, he's been fucking with us. He has not been serious this whole time. This is him serious?
Oh shit, we made him mad.
We're from what you described, it feels more like Hong Kong cinema than John Wick. What do you think John Wick's inspired by?
Yeah.
I'm just using the modern, like, immediate connection.
I've only seen the first John Wick, and I know that. But good effort there, Aki. But I think that is everything there is to say about Geats.
Can we talk about the peak fiction? Can we talk about the peak fiction?
Yes, we can talk about your thing.
Okay. Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger, Episode 5, The Winter Ruler Cometh. Superior Sentai, Superior Sentai, Superior Sentai.
Superior Sentai, Superior Sentai.
Yeah, this was a banger episode. Oh my god, it was even better than I was anticipating.
I love how Kingohger has had this consistent thing of with each, and obviously we're not going to be able to do it again for a while until like the 6th shows up, but every episode has ended with, oh man, this fucker's going to come and make things harder for all the other characters, and then it turns out this person is actually kind of helpful, but they're also even more unhinged than the last couple characters.
It's Rita. They are so they were even better than I thought. Like they're not even just their strong like philosophy of like I will be the judge. No one will move me. But their whole just like
the random outbursts.
Yeah, that just like
I can't deal with these idiots anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that just anxiety.
And like the scene at the beginning, I can't believe I am so shocked and embarrassed that Toei actually put footage of me getting home from work and going and sitting down next to my Supergirl body pillow in this tokusatsu.
You're talking about the Yeti scene.
Yeah, that was the vibe I got. Is just like we being comforted by the merch of their favorite character is a universal language. But I also really enjoyed at the beginning of the episode, friggin' Gira like still trying to play evil bad guy man, and then as soon as he finds out he's in actual trouble, he straight up pulls wait, no, I'm just a little guy. I'm just a little guy. You don't punish me. I'm just pretending.
Buster popped out.
Buster said they'll be back in a minute. I guess we're just going to carry on without them. And they already said they loved the episode, so that was really all we needed.
Oh, okay. I thought all of the stuff was really good. Mm-hmm. It was fun seeing all the other Rangers. I'm just going to call them Rangers because I'm an American fuck.
Yeah.
Acting as character witnesses for Gira.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I guess we should talk about the big reveal of the episode, which is that Gira, and we already kind of knew this through like scans and stuff, that he is actually a member of the royal family, and it's been kept secret all this time, apparently even from him somehow. How do you feel about that reveal, given the fact that like he was played as being like this rebel rising up from the slums kind of character initially?
Okay, so I'm gonna say something that might be very controversial and very, oh my god, American Toku fans are assholes and tryhards.
Mm-hmm.
This season feels very inspired by something like Games of Thrones. Now let me finish the thought. Not so much of
on HBO, everybody.
It's much more of like the idea of like it's interconnected political people, like people are manipulating other people to get what they want, right? That's the kind of feel of it. And in stories like that, where it's all about like mysteries and secrets, having Gira be the secret royal member of the thing. Here's the thing: the first episode already tells us that, because they literally say only a member of the royal family can lift up these fucking swords, can use these swords, right?
Aki in the chat, prodigal nonsense isn't something. Prodigal son nonsense isn't something I'm usually a fan of. Yeah, see, I knew there had to be at least a few people out there who felt that way.
Oh yeah, no, it's not. It's not a great trope. Oh no. Okay, you're back.
I'm back. Sorry.
Yeah. It's not the best trope in the world, but like it's foreshadowed. It doesn't come out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. It's not like they tried to sell. They weren't trying to sell us on the idea of Gira being a regular boy, and now they've gone into no, he was a special boy all along. It's been a consistent mystery through the show up till now of why is this boy special? How could he do this?
And it never was like is he special? It's like no, he's special.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like how is he special?
Yeah, and I like that they didn't just answer everything in one fell swoop. They answered how he's able to transform and form Kingohger, but now we have the question of, like, okay, how did the fact that there was another prince become hidden in that country? And did Gira know that he was prince, or did like his mind get wiped or something like that?
I was gonna say, like, what makes Gira special isn't just like, oh, the thing, like him being able to do the things. It's his connection to the people. So I think that's why this trope works in this context. Like, because he's had a lifetime of connecting with the average Joe and being an average. That like that experience makes him like with it and more like advanced and like Racules, you know.
Mm-hmm. I also really enjoy that, like, we get the big Sentai moment of, like, the full team is here and assembled, but they're still not, like, working as a cohesive unit. They're fighting each other all throughout that mecha fight.
Yeah, they're all trying to one-up each other. It's great. It's like, yeah, these are bastard kings, and I love them.
It was a wonderful have your cake and eat it too moment, because, like, I have not gotten like genuine superhero chills from a piece of media in a couple years now, but that scene where they're all transforming together at the end of the episode, that was a legitimate like, oh, let's go, everybody's here, Superior Sentai kind of a thing for me.
Yeah. It's just like this is just a really well produced opening arc, and like I know some people were dissing the snow fight, but I really liked it. I like the
the snow fight looks so good, and
the fights have been top notch on this show.
And I have been advocating for snow fights to make a return to Toku for years now, so it made me happy that they were doing it regardless of how it was going to look.
Yeah, and even that, it looks different, but it still looks solid. You know, that's how I view it.
I think the people who complain about like, oh, it looks too busy, just never read of manga or a comic in their life.
Nah.
Because it's that kind of vibe.
It does like every scene feels like every like big action feels like a manga panel. I can give you that. Like, but yeah, this was a really banger episode. Rita is me for real, and like.
Yeah, that's something that's got to be said, because like there was a scan or something that came out in the last couple of days that confirmed that they are non-binary. Like their whole thing is neutrality and upholding justice above all else. So they take that to the extreme of like even being gender neutral.
Well, here's the thing. I actually looked up a little bit because it was like my brain worm was just like, okay, something's getting lost in translation, not just because of translation, but because LGBTQA issues in Japan are a different beast than they are in America. So let me do some research real quick. So in Japan, there's a specific thing that doesn't really have like a direct American counterpart other than like the vague term of genderqueer called X-gender in Japan, right? They are not male, they're not female, they're X-gender.
I have heard of this.
And there's several categories in that. And one of them is called, if I remember right, Chusei. The Romanji is Chusei. Chusei. Now, in that word, sei means gender, and chu means neutral. So literally neutral gender. And I went to the scan and I was like, all right, let me look for this word. I found it. It's that exact spelling from the fucking page. It's like, okay, yeah, no, she's that specific version of non-binary. She's that specific version of Japanese non-binary.
Okay. That's interesting to know.
Here's the thing, though. I will say this, Buster. I think if we are going to buy English, because several publications involved in the show, such as the TV station that
but just because the actor
shows
is
identifying it. No, they identified the character with female pronouns, Kanojo.
And I think that's
where conflicting reports.
I think that's also where some of the confusion in the American fandom has come from, because Nightmare, your routine worked. It just didn't last very long. But Toei also put out like a YouTube video this week featuring Papillon and Kamakiri's actors, and it was called like Suffing Girls Talk, and people were like, see, this means that the character is a girl, and then the scan came out and people were arguing about that for a couple of days. But I think the thing is, Toei is just being like, look, this character is gender neutral, this actress is not, but they are playing one, so we're just kind of working that in a double-bladed way, basically.
But Buster, what I was trying to say is, the TV station referred to the character with Kanojo. I think the more accurate way of describing her their pronouns is she, her.
You mean she, they?
No, she, they. I thought I said
that would work. That would work.
She, they.
Yeah.
So, like, they is more often, but, like, she every once in a while isn't the end of the world.
Yeah, no, I just hate when people, like, trying to be, like, for lack of a better
His
word.
pronouns are they, them!
Yeah, basically, like, it's just, I don't like when people are trying to be like, oh, it's...
I'm not saying that their
pronouns
pronouns are only she, her. I'm just saying, like, that might be what it is,
yeah,
you know?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a fair hang up to have, but we don't need to continue on with it. But I do want to give a special shout out to what I can only guess is like Rita's paralegal, who comes off as even more like unhinged than Rita at some points in the episode, and is like a full-on fangirl of her boss.
Yeah, she's great. She just tried to be like, at times it's like she's just trying to survive. Like, she's like, I am like in danger, but like, so I'm just gonna suck up.
I love that her excuse for going to the prison to get a sample of Gira's DNA is just to tell all the prisoners, like, yeah, you should be mad at my boss. My boss is awesome. She upholds justice.
Yeah.
Or they uphold justice, excuse me.
That's fine. Okay. Really solid episode. Really excited to see like what will the status quo for like what's the next story arc, because we already have all the character intros out of the way.
Yeah, and Gira's going to be going back home next week, but also like this episode ends with the villains getting one of the Legend Kingohger mechs. They get a MacGuffin of their own, and I guess the heroes are going to have to wrestle that away from them at some point.
Yeah, it's a scorpion.
Yeah. Interesting. But that is it for new releases. Hey, just on the off chance, Boingo, did you watch any old tokusatsu or get any tokusatsu toys this week?
No.
Okay.
I'll be getting a drawing tablet soon.
Yeah, that was really nice to see that funded last night, because both Buster and I contributed to that, and I guess it's just like everybody's joint birthday present to you this year.
I'll start drawing and making cursed shit.
Oh no!
Draw streams.
We'll see what we do. We'll see what happens.
All right, me and Vac both have two things to go over. Do we just want to like one of us do one and then the other does one and then keep swapping?
I choose. How about I choose? Buster goes first.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'll just do my one first. All right. So I watched 2 Sentai over the last 2 weeks because we didn't do an old news segment last time because reasons. So like I watched 2 Sentai over 2 weeks, and the first one was Nippu Sentai Hurricaneger, also known in the West as its Power Rangers adaptation, Ninja Storm. Now, Ninja Storm is one of my favorite PR seasons, and this is a pretty solid Sentai show. It's not my favorite. It does kind of feel like we're kind of same old at times. But, like, there's a lot of fun to be had in it. I really like the main 3. The, like, Thunder Ninja Academy stuff is fun. Shurikenger is a blast. Like, that character is, that is peak Six Ranger to me. And
interesting, because I've always heard he's like a bit of a quagmire to most people.
Quagmire? What do you mean?
Like he's odd. He's weird. He doesn't quite fit into any slots, and people don't know how to feel about him.
They don't vibe with him.
Well, screw them. That character is like right up my alley.
Buster, I have a question.
What?
Is there a CGI guinea pig?
It's a puppet.
They did a puppet?
Yeah. Like, let me go find
Wait, they did a guinea pig?
Yeah, well, it was like some funny. Let me look up Hurricane.
So Ninja Storm took that directly from Hurricaneger then?
Yeah. Let me.
That wasn't just Power Rangers being goofy.
No, I'm trying to find the image because it was also a Sensei turned into a
an animal.
Yeah, I'm trying to go
wow.
I'm trying to find his the picture of where is. Give me a second, but yeah, Hurricaneger, really good show. I'm just gonna look at Hurricaneger guinea pig.
You do that, bud.
You get like images of.
Okay, there I found it. But like this, I'm sharing it in the Discord chat. It's literally looking like Master Splinter from the Teenage Mutant
What
Ninja
the
Turtles
fuck?
Yo!
That looks like a suit.
That ain't bad.
Yeah. It is really solid. That they that's a fun character. I like the mentor. They do some cool stuff. Again, it's not really the most memorable Sentai to me. It's just it's fine. There's good elements. I do feel like the ending arc just kind of happens. Like it doesn't really like end in a big climactic way. It's just all the villains are here. Let's beat them up. and it's just like I don't know. Maybe I haven't watched 10 Years After yet. I want to give myself some time before like 10 years after and this viewing of the show, so I can 10 years.
God
after
damn it, Vac.
What?
I haven't had the panel open to do that. Stop it.
This guy, they're just doing Twitch stuff for the YouTube audience. But yeah, Hurricane, pretty solid. I'm interested to see what the movies do, but not like a rush. Like it's an average Sentai. It's a good 7 out of 10. You know.
It's a Sentai that's put on in the mid 2000s to have something on air.
Kinda. Like, I mean, I do like the Megazord line and the gimmicks, and there's like good episodes, but it's not like the most like I'm into this, you know. It is a fine. Shurikenger's like the only part I would like. Yeah, I want. That's like I'm invested in that guy. No, not the rest of the cast is fine, you know. And they are acted well. It's just it's a hidden.
Are they extreme sports junkie?
No, but they are delinquents. They do like slack off. Do you want to go with your thing, Vac? Next, one of your things.
Well, I've been working my way through Denji Sentai Mega Ranger. This week I watched episodes 9 through 26, or I guess in the last 2 weeks I did. And I think Mega Ranger and Hurricaneger are pretty comparable from what you've just told me, because Mega Ranger a lot of the time does just kind of feel like a Super Sentai. There's occasional episodes where it like really fires up and gets good and interesting, but for the most part it's just kind of like these all right little stories of the week, centered around these high school students and the machinations of the villains. I think the biggest improvement, there's probably like 2 real things I need to comment on as opposed to when I talked about the first 8 episodes. And that is like, last time I said that like I thought the Red Ranger, Mega Red Kenta just kind of seemed like an older executive's idea of what a cool 90s kid is. And I still hold to that, but there are some episodes later on, like specifically I think it's episode 19 or 20, where they do a whole storyline about like him realizing that like I can't keep slacking off and treating this like a game. The villains are serious shit, and I have these real dangerous powers I'm controlling. Like he has these recurring supporting characters, this little gang of kids he always hangs out with at the arcade, and during a monster fight he accidentally hurts one of them because he's aiming for the monster, and the monster dodges, and the kid's behind the monster. And that's like a whole thing of him going like, oh god, do I even deserve to have these powers? And having to, the mentor character comes in and basically goes like, hey, you need special training, you need to get serious about this, let's get you to where you should have been at episode 1. And that was really cool. And then a few episodes later, Mega Silver finally shows up. It's really jarring watching modern tokusatsu and then going back to older stuff, where stuff like Six Rangers doesn't happen until like halfway through the show, whereas now it's like you expect it by episode 10. And Mega Silver is, of course, very different from his counterpart in Power Rangers in Space, because in Space he was an old friend of the Red Ranger who got hurt and had to be put in cryosleep. And here, it's a prototype suit for the Mega Rangers that one of the scientists that is working on another project stole because he got bored at his job and wanted to hang out with kids and feel young again.
Very odd, but like also relatable.
Yeah. Like, they're all high school-aged kids. I think they're all supposed to be, like, 16, 17. And then this 25-year-old just shows up on his cool motorcycle and goes, hey, kids, look at this shit. I'm gonna save the day with my cool gun sword blaster thing. Ain't that some shit? And then the boss comes in and is like, don't you have shit to be doing? Get back to work, you fucking idiot. And it's like this constant back and forth of like, is he a valid member of the team or not ever since? It's fun.
Yeah.
But that's all I really have to say about Mega Ranger this week.
It's a video game season, isn't it?
It's video game and device themed.
Okay. So like X8 and Fives had a baby.
Kinda, yeah. Like, they all have specific device-themed powers that they can use. Though, like, the one that gets used most commonly is the Yellow Ranger has a digital camera search power that allows her to see hidden objects. Like if a monster of the week has a cloaking power or can turn into a person, she can see that, like, oh, it's a fucker in disguise.
Oh my god, it's this shadow fucker.
Yeah.
The shrouded fucker.
Also, Japanese Darkonda did show up in this batch of episodes, and he is just as much of a fucker in Sentai as he is in Power Rangers.
Nice. Yeah.
How's Opera Ranger, Buster?
Oh yeah, I also watched Opera Ranger the last week, and boy, I think this was a contender for one of my favorite Sentais. It's definitely my favorite dinosaur. So okay, I just want to go over some episodes because Opera Ranger has some wild episodes. Like halfway through, there's a crossover with like a slice of life anime. Like
what?
Like, you know the Mad Mackerel episode of Dino Thunder? It was adapting an episode from a slice of life crossover anime, Tsubaki Nishi, and like it's cool because the entire episode actually ties back into like one of the characters because Abare Red is a single dad, and like that and like the fisherman who's like looking for his son like from the anime is also a dad. So it's like they bond over that, and it's like this is actually like it's peak Sentai. Like and that same goes for the rest of the show. Like because okay, I'm sorry, I'm pulling up my notes because I actually wrote down a lot about Operator.
Damn.
Not like a lot, but like I had a lot of thoughts. Because like basically the entire thematic bone of the show is that you could use your rage to benefit yourself and motivate yourself. Rage is not solely a bad thing. Like yes, it can lead to bad things, but it is not the bad.
This is a Sentai based on the philosophy of the Sith?
Not really. No, it can lead to bad things, but they can also...
You can channel your rage into healthier things than just negativity.
Yeah, basically. And it's like... Yeah, it's like... I really loved it. The characters were like super likable. Yellow kind of got a bit underdeveloped, but like, hey, it's 2000s. Female Sentai characters were still kind of like in this weird, like, tropey rut. Not rut, but like they're in like a transitionary period. They weren't as great as they would come later. But like, you know, she's still really good in it.
I mean, as long as it's not Mega Pink, whose entire character boils down to she has a crush on Mega Blue and is kind of a slacker like Mega Red.
I mean, that's kind of relatable, but you know, execution-wise, I can understand. But yeah, I really love like the Red Ranger is like a single dad, like as I mentioned earlier. That's super fun, and like you see,
that sounds like a
kid.
Has that concept ever been done before or since?
The Kamen Rider Saber V Cinema had a similar thing. But like that's a V Cinema.
Yeah, because Kamen Rider Buster's a dad, right?
Yeah, but like even then, like Saber himself got to be like a dad in that V Cinema.
Oh.
So like yeah, and I really like how like Abare Blue, he's kind of this very cool like he's kind of like whatever, but he's also has a heart of gold. Abare Black has this super tragic origin I don't want to get into, but it's like when you've learned about it, it's like, oh dang, this.
Yeah, he jumped away from an explosion after his friend became a monster mash and went
Not that, but like yeah, he's a great character. Like even if also the talking dinosaurs, they aren't like super developed characters, but they're just super fun to have around. You know, they're just like charming guys. They'll be like, yeah, beat them up, Abba Rangers. You know, it's like and then Abare Killer. Oh, yeah, he's pretty...
Hang on. Aki in the chat, we need a Star Wars with a Sith hero. That would be awesome. They've done that twice before. It's called The Force Unleashed and the Darth Bane trilogy.
Yeah. Even as a casual Star Wars fan, I can agree with that. But like...
Check both those out. They're great.
Force Unleashed good. But like...
I mean, and ultimately the point of Star Wars is understanding that the Sith and the Jedi are wrong, and moderation is important to the lifeblood of everything.
True.
Yeah.
But like, Abare Killer. Yeah. He is just a normal dude who just stumbles across the powers and decides, I'm gonna frick around. He's basically like proto like Yagami from Death Note, although like way toned down for a PG audience.
Oh my gosh.
Although they like apparently, just spoilers, he does get redeemed, but that's apparently because the networks were threatening, if you don't redeem this guy by the end of the show, we are going to pull our sponsor. I'm not sure how valid that is, because this happened at the tail end of the show. But like, I could believe it with how like, you know, Toei sponsors could be. But especially back then, 2000s, when like Abare Killer is like a fricker for most of the show. And
Does Honda do anything with Super Sentai?
I think like more
They
common.
probably do.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, like every Rider machine is a Honda.
Yeah, but I think that's a more common Rider than.
Sentai has bikes sometimes, though, so maybe. I don't know. I'd have to look into that.
Yeah, but Operator
Yeah,
is really good, and it's also weird because I think Dino Thunder sped up the transforms of like the Megazord transform, so it's just like it felt a bit slower in Operator, but that's just because I'm used to the sped up American version. So
That's interesting because one of the things I always really liked about Dino Thunder was how fast and action packed its transformations.
Oh yeah, they're still action packed, but like they just sped it up, I guess, to like get through more of the runtime in Dino Thunder. But like, yeah, also Operator has the best Sentai theme, one of the best Sentai theme songs. Like it is like infectiously. It's been stuck in my head since I've finished it, and I'm super excited for the 20 years after. Now after having finished, it's like. Imagine what they can do with, 20 years after, and there's this same writer, Naruhisa Arakawa, who, by the way, wrote Gokaiger Vac, so you have, this is his first Sentai.
Oh, yeah, no, I've always been low-key interested in checking Operator out. It's just never happened.
Yeah, and I highly recommend it. This is one of my favorite Sentais. Definitely my favorite Dinosaur Sentai. Kyurager is probably, second favorite, Ryuja Soldier third, and then Zyuranger last, if you want my, ranking on Dino Sentais.
Oh man, you just spoiled a video you could have done on your channel.
See, I was gonna do that more as a Twitter thread, but I could do it as a video, like what I review all.
Do it as a video. Get that algorithm. Get that money. That cheddar.
Yeah, I guess maybe.
Dino Sentai tier list. Let's go.
Yeah, I'll probably do it eventually. And honestly, the more I find it more interesting to just talk about the season, in my opinion.
And then joke and rate Revice in there too.
No, I already did a Revice video.
No, just put Revice in the tier list.
He should just put Kamen Rider O's Puto Tira form in there.
Maybe if it was still April Fool. But speaking of April Fools, hey, Vac, you got a thing.
Oh, yes, I was made a big fool of. We talked about this a little while ago when I bought Lightning Collection Deluxe Blue Centurion, and it broke on me live on stream as I was opening it. And of course, I did my due diligence. I contacted Hasbro. I said, hey, this broke. I bought it directly from you. Can you please help a fella out? And they sent me back the bog standard. We're sorry that happened to your product, sir. We will send you an item of equal or greater value, which this has been a thing with Hasbro for years. If you go to them for customer service, you're playing the lottery. And I basically got a slight bit of a loss, I would say, on this round of the lottery, because I got something that is in the same line at the same price point, but it's from 2 waves ago, and it's obviously not as interesting. I got a Lightning Collection Deluxe In Space Blue Ranger with Galaxy Glider, which I will say positively, hey, this was something I want and I had to skip on for budgetary reasons last year. And I am watching Mega Ranger right now, so this scratches my itch I've been having for Mega Ranger merch. But it's also just like, hey, this isn't the thing that needed replacing. So now I'm vaguely on the lookout to find a Blue Centurion in person if I possibly can. And in the meantime, hey, it's right here, so I'll just hold it up for the live audience. This is a fairly solid toy. I like the in-space male Ranger body. It's a fairly well done figure. And I like how well they rendered the Astro Axe or Mega Tomahawk if you're nasty. Lots of painted detail on it, which I don't always expect from the Lightning Collection. And obviously the big draw with this release, because this figure has been released before as part of a 2-pack with the Silver Psycho Ranger. But this is the first time we've gotten a Galaxy Glider in the Lightning Collection. And I think it's pretty well done. It is basically just a slab of plastic with some paint on it and a couple little translucent bits for the headlights, but that's the Galaxy Gliders. Like, people think of them as these cool, iconic things, but there's really not much to them. They're just space surfboards.
That's an American-only thing?
No, they're in Japan, and they are called the Cyber Sliders there.
Cyber?
Yeah. Yeah, decent little figure. Not exactly what I wanted, but I'm not mad that I have it now. And I think that's everything there is to talk about for this week in Toku. So, hey, special guest man Boingo, who's barely talked for the last 10 minutes.
I've asked questions. I tried to engage.
You've helped. You've been helping. Where can people find you who are listening back to this on the Modular Media channel? Where can people find you on the internet? Fucking plug Gateway to Geats.
Hi, I'm Boingo. I do a variety of things on the internet. I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/Boingo Rider. I stream on Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays. That's the plan. Hold me to it. I also post videos on YouTube, like many people do. I have a weekly review series of Kamen Rider Geats called Gateway to Geats, where it's less about like reviewing, and honestly, it's like trying to make a miniature video essay every single week.
Because you started off like going through things point by point in all the episodes, and now you're just kind of like, here's the ideas behind this episode.
Yeah, and I think it's more rewarding, but it also creates better conversation. So you can see that. I also have a shorts series called Quest for Kingohger, where I do point by point recap reviews of Kingohger and all the stuff I thought was cool.
Yeah. In 1 minute or less.
Yeah, 1 minute or less. It's a pizza. I'm also on a variety of social media platforms: Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at Boingo_writer. I am also on Tumblr. A link to that in the description. Search for Boingo Writer. You'll find me. It's easy enough.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, Buster, where can folks find you out there on the internet?
Oh, hi. I'm Buster Corp. I do videos on YouTube. We have both YouTube shorts that are basically just re-uploads from my TikTok. Hey, I have a TikTok as well. But also, I just do like little 5-minute video essays on whatever I feel like. The recent video I did was Ultraman parodies. Ultraman parodies, basically self-parody Ultramans that like Super Aya has done throughout the years. But I also do a podcast that actually should be going up today because of the delayed schedule. The Lakewood Podcast Turbo, where me and It's Only Magic / Wyatt go through the entire OKKO lineage series thingy. So hopefully you'll enjoy that.
Nice. And I am the Vacuuminator. I make YouTube videos about things and stuff that interest me, like tokusatsu, like toys, like comic books. I've got a video coming out on a tokusatsu comic book later this week. But it'll probably be way later this week because I'm very behind schedule. We're talking like Saturday, Friday times. But hey, I've got a good backlog of stuff you can go check out on youtube.com/@thevacuuminator. I'm also on social media. You can find me on Twitter @thevacuuminator, on Instagram posting daily action figure photography @the_vacuuminator. I'm also on TikTok posting clips of my videos @the_vacuuminator, and on Tumblr reblogging all kinds of shit. thevacuuminator.tumblr.com. But, folks, that's going to do it for this week in Toku. Thank you for listening. We'll see you back here next week for whatever happens that week in Tokusatsu.